Welcome to PG and Daks Short Series Episode 4. This week we're joined by the lads from Maryhill Milan, Jamie Butler and Daks' younger, less physically challenged brother, Anton Dakhil. The lads talk about their journey of creating Maryhill Milan to help lads in their recovery from addiction. This week's proud sponsors are CNLE Clothing, a small local business set up during lockdown with family in mind. CNLE stands for Craig, Natalie, Lewis and Emily, the family initials. And in selling these items, they're encouraging people to join their family. So get yourself onto their Instagram and Twitter and check it out. Some top clobber at great prices. Hope you enjoy the show.
How you doing, everybody? Podcast short today. We've got Jamie Butler, gaffer at Maryhill Milan, and his captain Anton Dakhil. It's an episode that I'm buzzing with because it's a great club, but the message they've got's even better. True. So Jamie, Anton, welcome to the pod.
Hi boys, how you doing, PG? Alright?
I'm good, Anton, mate. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I don't know who the other character is that's doing this for you, mate, but he's definitely not your standard, mate.
Anton, that's Jamie, actually, the other character.
Listen, that's how long he's not seen his gaffer for, not I mean, he doesn't even know who it is. Yeah, for people that don't know, right, I wanted to do this podcast because of the message the club portray, but Anton is my younger brother. He was blessed with the hair. He's got the hair of the family and I get the so for anybody that knows. Alright. So the boys are on for Maryhill Milan. Alright, I know a lot about the club and the message that they're sending out there. Boys are sporting their trackie, dressed up for the occasion. So Jamie, we're just going to basically strip it back and just basically back to how the club started.
Yeah. We started when, Anton? 2017, February 2017. Started, you know why we started, Ryan? PJ, we started because of the guys in recovery, you know, it was kind of problems with alcohol and drugs and what have you. And we went out and we were just playing five-a-sides and things together, do you know what I mean? And I said to Anton, we'll get every game at 11, something different, do you know what I mean? Get every game a wee friendly sorted out with a local side, and it just kind of kicked off for there, you know, all the boys were buzzing and all that, and got us into a decent league, built up a decent side, as you know, Ryan, you played a couple of games yourself, conceded a lot of goals, yeah, for a few weeks.
Just the big games, Jamie, you get me in for me.
The big ones we get slaughtered in. Aye, so it kind of gave guys that were in recovery and that a different base, you know, somewhere different for turning up to meetings and what have you, man, to go and play football and stuff that guys enjoyed. And you will know this yourself, man, being in changing rooms sometimes isn't the best for guys that are struggling, you know, with alcohol and what have you. So it gave guys that love playing football somewhere to go, get into a changing room where everybody was fucking sober and what have you, do you know what I mean? We just kind of built it for there, but also will say, I know, man, it was not everybody in the team's in recovery. Do you know, I try to make it that way, but I wasn't getting the numbers, man, every week turning up. And I'm dragging in bodies left, right, and centre just to get 11 men on the park. Do you know what I mean? So decided to kind of open the doors to other people, and you know, it's worked out well, worked out better for us, Anton.
Aye, definitely, mate, 100%. And that's what I think, I know, it's as Jamie says, man, see when we started this team, it was five-a-side, we got taps and the numbers were hanging off the back of them, man, and honestly, we're all wearing the same taps, we're going to look and studied 15, nothing, you know, like, just for a kick about, wasn't it?
Well, the referee came in and pulled me up and he's like, here mate, you've got two number 2s on the park. And I'm like, no, he's 12, the one's fell off his jersey. Oh, what, man. And then we get sponsorship and all that, and we kind of started getting the strips together and all that. Now, as you can see, we've got the best of swag, you know what I mean?
I just want to put this out there first, man, that I don't normally wear this on a Sunday night, man, if I've not got football, do you know what I mean? The gaffer phoned us before I came on, he says, get that Maryhill stuff on. I don't care what you're wearing on your trousers, but make sure you get a Maryhill Milan tap on. But you can see the gaffer's good to himself, man. He's put the new track on, man. I'm wearing the thing we got when we first started.
Yeah, well, at least it's good to see the gaffer is setting examples, mate, and standards at the club, know what I mean? on that point, Jamie, what you were saying, and Anton, obviously, me and PG have been part of the dressing rooms, and it would be dead difficult for boys that are maybe struggling with addiction issues, maybe alcoholism, stuff like that, because let's be honest, we've all been in dressing rooms, and that is massive chat in there. You know what I mean? So obviously, with the club, I've been in it. It's a different vibe in it. It's no orientated round about just the madness and the daftness.
Yeah, aye, definitely right. That is different, and it's you know, and I know you go into dressing rooms and there's talk about what they're doing after the game, you know, and we'll go here, we'll do that, what have you, flying about the dressing room. So it kind of gives guys a kind of safe base to come in, do you know what I mean, and see what we're doing with ourselves and all, do you know what I mean? And the doors are open and all, man. See, anybody watching this, us playing in teams and they struggle with that, the doors are open for everybody, do you know what I mean? Use a wee phone, get his a line.
Jamie, see, for me, see when you started, you said you were playing fives in it. How did the fives come about? What was done for that to be organised? How did you get people involved?
We kind of ran about together, PG. Me and Anton and other boys, you know what I mean? And we were doing things with ourselves, we go to meetings together, going out for a bite, eating that, and we decided just to get a wee game of fives here and there. And we all look forward to that every Thursday night, Anton. We'll go down to Petershill and that and get a game of fives. And then for there, PG was on a wee game of 11s organised down at Crown Point, and that's a game Anton's talking about. We got a Lenny strips that a team must have had for 10 years ago, do you know what I mean? And it was just,
I think I played that day, Jamie. Did we know? Did I not play now?
You might have, Ryan. So I think we conceded 9 goals.
We wouldn't have conceded 9 if I was in the so it wasn't that one.
10 or 11.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Ryan that day, man, it would have been 15 or something. We still managed it.
Right, bang on.
Thanks, brother. Thanks. See, I was going to say something there, and it was a fucking bill to their point, man. PG, bail me out, mate, because
Right, lad, so how did you end up, when you started, you said you've obviously struggling to get players in that. Was it just mates that you turned to after that? But did the boys that you were bringing in, did you obviously tell them beforehand, look, this is what this club's up for, and this is where we're going with?
I definitely, PG. See, every day it comes into the team, and guys, right, as I said, no every day plays for this team is in recovery. You know a lot of guys that they play in the team that are in recovery. You know what I mean? So, see, for the guys that they come into the team, I speak to them beforehand and let them know, listen, a lot of these guys are in recovery, and you go in there, a wee bit of respect, don't be talking about getting fully, getting out tonight, blah, 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 do you know what I mean? And you know what, man, I would, every one of them spot on, man, you know, everybody's come in, they've had the same kind of, they end up kind of a wee bit like us, don't they? They've got the same attitude and what have you, and they come in and respect the dressing room and they give the boys a respect, you know what I mean? And everybody just gets on great together, Anton, in there.
That's what I will say, PG and Ryan. See, like obviously the gaffer says, it's no, everybody's not in recovery. That was how we started, and we try and keep the spine and we try and keep that kind of ethos of the club, and our thinking is based on that stuff and the spine of the team. And when we first started, like the gaffer, his boy and his son-in-law and all that, they all came to the team, so it was like a full family hanging on, do you know what I mean? So there was still the connection of that, and people would come in that maybe their dad had suffered from alcohol issues or somebody suffered from drug issues, so it's always been a kind of connection. We've had people, and the gaffer doesn't just say anybody, well, he says to everybody to come along, do you know what I mean? He tells everybody come along to the team, but he's very specific in who he brings in, what their characters like, what their attitudes like to life. And see the amount of boys, right, that's a lot of boys have chucked football because it was the boozer after the game, it was playing for pub teams, it was you had to go to the boozer as soon as the game was finished and all that. So boys were going there and they were going to the boozer, and for us, right, once I start drinking, I can't stop. I've no control with how much I take. So see, for somebody that's just a normal drinker goes out, they can go to the pub and have a couple after the game. But see, for boys like myself and the gaffer and boys that are maybe in the team or people in recovery, once they go out for that couple after the game, it's a write-off. It's a write-off, man. It comes a Saturday morning, it becomes into maybe a Monday, Tuesday, everybody's away home and they're left the pieces and all the carnage and chaos in their life. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of the boys have come into that because they've left teams, they've chucked football because they didn't want to be in the environments, in these situations. And they've walked out of dressing room. Why the boys, I'll not mention his name anyway, but he came in and that's a road. PG, Ryan knows himself, but see your team, it's been a wee roadmap into recovery for people and for people to change their life, because it starts with the football. They walk into the changing room, we're talking about changing our Wayne's nappies and, do you know what I mean? Like things that you would never hear at a changing room because people would slaughter you for all that stuff. But people are just talking about normal life, and boys have come in and it's like, what's going on here? And then they've been dipping their toes in, going, what is it you're doing? Where do you go? And you can see them kind of asking questions about what we're doing with our life, and that's sometimes the wee gate for them to maybe try and take on board or tap into different things in their life.
Well, that's something. Sorry, Dak. That was something I was going to actually say to you, Anton, because obviously you've mentioned your drink, and I was going to ask you how it's affected you getting into this team, because obviously you know what it's like. See, if you have a real issue, it's hard to put yourself in a position where in a normal team the boys will go bevy every weekend. It's hard to be in that position. But have you found, like you kind of touched on there, boys who have had an issue maybe would have not spoken about it or anything, but have kind of angled themselves into your team knowing that it's a possible route for recovery for them?
PG, see that right? See the amount of players we've seen that's done that right is I can't say off the top of my head how many boys have come in for the football side of it, but and then they just drop these seeds where he's gone tonight, who he's gone with. They start talking about a few things and they're maybe turning up. You can tell they're maybe struggling a wee bit. And let me tell you the perfect example, right? The perfect example about Maryhill Milan football team changing lives is a gaffer. That has been one of the biggest, maddest things I've seen, because as the gaffer said, right, I was at the start room playing fives. There was a good few other boys that aren't involved anymore that all started it. And he put himself out, he says, right, started getting a few games of 11 aside, right? And he's like, why the boys is like, I don't want to kind of take this on. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to take this on. And the gaffer was just coming about like changing his life, starting to change the way he was living his life, starting to tap into new things. And he's like, put yourself out there. I was para. I'm a shite. I'm too sensitive shite, but I can't pick a team. I'm so I can never make a decision. I'm pure indecisive, not right. So I couldn't be a gaffer. I couldn't be. So I take my hat off to anybody that manages teams, because I want to keep everybody happy and no hungry. But the gaffer anyway says, I'll take this on, and I'll tell you the new man. Any team's hard to run, but try to run 11 people with addictions or alcohol or any issues and try to look after them. That's unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? Characters like me, and I'll 10 of them. But he said, he's like, I'll take it on. And then, do you know what, man? See his life after he took the team on. I just seen him change, man. It gave him a purpose. He was dealing with all sorts of different characters. He was getting parts, because I didn't know how much went into running a football team until I was with him. I didn't realise it's a full-time job for him. So see all his full week and his days, it's texting boys, messaging parts, getting the strips, so emailing things and doing all these things, and I just seen his life go for there, and it just went to there with the football team because of responsibility and the characters and the stuff we had to organise, man. I just seen his whole life changing, you know what I mean, right in front of us, and just didn't be the manager of the football team.
That's what, for me, Jamie, I'm going to go to you, Jamie. Like, I know Anton's story personally because I've lived with it, and I'm proud as punch the way he's went and where he's went with his life, you know what I mean? I couldn't be any prouder of my brother. Seeing what the football club does for him and the family and everything, and you alluded to the family club, it 100% is, because when I was in that cup final and I played, and I've been running about the dressing room and been there the odd times to help you, Jamie, and he's won the cup final, everybody, it wasn't a piss up. You all took your families and you went to China Buffet King and spent it as a family and celebrated it as a family together, which was amazing to see. But my big thing that Anton's alluded to, a lot of people all come from different upbringings and backgrounds and have had different battles, and it's just good to see the way that he's all coming together, and he's smashing it out the park with your stuff.
Aye, definitely, Ryan. Anton, I can't take all the credit, as you know, Ryan. You've been at my side for day dot with that team, and without having somebody like that next to you, then maybe I've not managed to carry on. Do you know what I mean? And it was tough, man. And it was tough at the start to get the team up and running. But I think once it's up and running, it becomes a lot easier. Do you know what I mean? And it is, Ryan. Definitely, it's a family. I think we've got a big banner, haven't we? Maryhill Milan, and then underneath it, Family Club or something that says underneath it. I know I used made a mad banner at that final. I know Anton, mine tweet and all that. As my boy, as Anton touched on, my oldest son plays for, I did play with, along with yourself, Ryan. My son-in-law, my daughter's man, plays with, you know. And it was all the aim, it was right there for the start. I'm trying to see when Anton was talking there, I'm trying to think how many boys are left in that team that was there for the start. I think there's about 7 or 8, is there?
Aye, I've that, mate, I've that.
When about that, boys that's been there for day one, mate, do you know what I mean? Which is quite good going, man, considering we've been together for 2017.
Your own journey, Jamie, but the club means a lot more to you than just the football, doesn't it? With your own personal journey as well.
Aye, definitely, Ryan. You know, the club gave, as Anton said, it gave me a different look on life altogether. Do you know what I mean? It's been a massive, massive, massive part of recovery. My family as well, you know, been a massive part of their recovery. Aye, it did, man. You know, I was the same as Anton, man. I left one drink and I can't stop and I'm on it for days on end. And then, as Anton touched on, you go back to everybody else, all the normal drinkers get home and at the end of the night, you know, and we don't, man. We get home on a Monday morning and we've messed up work, we've lost our jobs, missus is cracking up, you know, left them all weekend with nothing. And you can only go on like that for so long before everything starts just breaking down when about you, do you know what I mean? And that was the same as my journey as Anton. And this football team has gave us something that we still cling on to for the weekends and that, Anton, do you know what I mean? We still give us something to look forward to our weekends, going out playing football together, all going out for a bite to eat, the friendship, the kind of camaraderie that we've all got.
Sorry to interrupt you, Jamie. See on that, do you mind going through maybe a wee bit of your stories? I want to talk about the football now, right? And then just so that it's kind of a bit more hard-hitting for people, that we finish on your stories so that kind of people are left with that at the end of the episode, because I think obviously I know we touch about Anton stuff and that, and I know how kind of hard you have worked at the club to make it what it is. And just for me, I think it's really impressive that people who don't know yous listening to this at the start will think, oh well, that's really great they're doing that, but you're only just for kind of helping guys in that sense. Yous are quite successful as well. I mean, you've had 2 promotions, yous have won 2 cups. I mean, and you're really looking at, you've lost a season or 2 seasons really from COVID. So that's basically your whole time gone. You have been successful. How have you managed to do that to make it so successful? Well, I suppose it shows that a lot of guys who have been in your position have been involved in football and you've been able to bring boys in, and it shows the quality that you have been able to get.
Aye. Do you know what, PG, I think?
You still got that?
Managed to dig that one out. I'm part of the success, PG, mate.
He's in the Milan Hall of Fame. He turns up for the finals in the Scuddins, that boy. He turns up for the first final, man, so he could get his on in a wee medal, and he's still going. He wears that.
He knew that would be the last one he'd ever get, mate.
Yeah. That's as important as it.
That's my spell one I gave him, so he could kid on he won it.
That's as important as any other ones, wee man.
Yeah. Oh, it was brilliant. And do you know what, PG? You were spot on there. I think that's the difference, right? We started the team and it was a case of give people somewhere to go. And then you know what it's like yourself, PG, and Ryan knows what it's like. Gaffer, you don't turn up just to, for me, I don't turn up just to kick a ball on a Sunday, Saturday, whatever. I turn up to win. I turn up to win things. It's no fun. It's all right to turn up with your pals and run a boot, but at the end of the day, man, when you get in that football park for 90 minutes, you want to win things. You want to win the game. You're not going for a park, no winning the game, and you're feeling good about it, and you're feeling happy about it. So we thought, you know what? We need to start bringing bodies in that fit into it. And as you say, PG, first season, we won the cup, right? It was a mini league, we had to basically get promoted to that into a better league straight away for the bottom division. So halfway through the season, we got up to the second half of the division, finished second in that, it was us and our team. And then obviously got the promotion, as you say, won the first cup. We were playing against our biggest rivals at that time. It was a massive occasion, it was a massive day. Ryan was playing, all the families were there, Jamie said it, the banners, they all had t-shirts made and all that. And that team, it was Ross Hall, and we were always competing with them to win the league. And it was tight between the two, and they bet us a cup, probably bet us that full season, didn't they, Gaffer?
Yeah.
And then we played them in the final, beat them in the final, do you know what I mean, to win the cup, got promoted into the one, and then obviously we won our second one. So it's for since we've been running, we've won a cup each year and promoted and got higher in the league. And I was out at the end of the last season before COVID, but the gaffer will tell you we were flying there, and I think we would have been competing to win the top division there.
Definitely. Aye, definitely. I think, see what you're saying, PG, I think the success kind of comes for, you've got that dressing room, right? But see, as Anton touched on earlier, even I'm bringing guys into the team, it's not just, obviously, I need the ability there and all, but also pick certain characters. You know, I need to make the dressing room gel together. And I've got, you know, I've had great players turning up and telling them I don't want them because they've got a swagger and an attitude and what have you, and it just upsets the apple cart. Do you know what I mean? So my team's built around ability, but a certain character that can fit into the dressing room. And for there, we just have that kind of spirit to go and battle away for each other, for each other every Sunday. And as Anton said, we did start a team to get guys out and get them like active and mental health and physical health and all that stuff. But really, once we started and you get that wee taste of success, man, we just wanted more and more and more, do you know what I mean? And we kept growing from strength to strength, bringing in talented bodies, but decent guys as well, do you know what I mean?
See what I love, Jamie, about the club, I love that you have stuck to your principles and your values for the very get-go, and you haven't detracted away for that, do you know what I mean? That I know it's quite easy to, once you get involved in it, being part of the football, and you think about the success, and you'll do anything to get success, so you'll take it, the good players gone, you'll take them on it. But I know closely and at first hand, mate, how important you see the dressing room and the values of the club and where you want to take the club and your philosophies on it and the type of character you want to run about your team. So hats off to you, mate, because at the end of the day, it's still getting you success. It's still bringing the club success. You know what I mean?
Aye, definitely, Ryan. You know yourself, when I get approached with guys, somebody's wanting a game and they've maybe been doing it at Ashfield or they've been somewhere and they'll give you a wee bell. Do you know what I mean? With Jinky, this guy, and you'll go, cracking player, but is he all right? Is he brand new? Because I need him to fit into the changing room where he's a cracking player. I know it's a different story. Do you know what I mean?
I think in terms of yous, that's obviously important in all teams where you try and find out a wee bit about the guy's personality, because you generally know what the likes of a football player. But I think for yous, it is definitely more important to know what that personality is like. And I don't mean it to sound as if it's an insult or anything, but there's a bit more kind of fragility in your team where you need to have the right type of people, because you'll know this for having addictions and kind of whatever stuff you do to help progress. You need to position yourself in with the right people as well, because you can't just be with people who go out and bevy all the time, because that's no good to you or your families, you know what I mean? So it is obviously very important to know the character, and you're clearly doing a good job.
Aye, definitely, PG.
See, kind of, you know, that the success is there for anybody to see, and we've kind of touched on it. Not I mean, 2 promotions and I think you were only like 9 points off the top of the league with a couple of games in Holland, and you were in an R Cup final and that. So just unfortunate that this has happened. See, a big one for me with the issues and the kind of issues they deal with in the club. Now, how have you found lockdown and that as a club? How have you been dealing with that? Do you know what I mean? Because obviously you haven't really had the opportunity to get together and meet and play games and stuff. I know that you have done different bits and balls, but I'll let you crack on with that.
Aye, we've done, we've got obviously the chat and all that, it kind of keeps guys going, but we've done a lot of different charity things, I know. Brian, our lockdown, raising money for cash for kids and things, and it kind of gives everybody a wee spur, a wee kick, and it still brings that kind of togetherness, know what I mean, when we're all out there for the one cause, try to raise money for a good cause, you know what I mean? So it's kind of kept us together, isn't it, Anton? And we're back now doing a wee bit of training and what have you, do you know what I mean? But it's been tough, man, but we've managed to kind of stick together, and I seem to still have all the same boys that were there. Do you know, I built a cracking side before that. We built a cracking side before that lockdown, really did, man. I brought in 4 or 5 guys that you know, Ryan.
Aye.
Added them to the squad that I already had. So we managed to get a couple of wee friendlies in October time. I think we were allowed to get back and play. We weren't allowed to use the dressing room. So that was hard, man, seeing out onto the side of the park with the guys, and you had to give them all their strips separately and carrier bags and all that. And that was tough. That for me, no for them, tough for me to organise that. But that kind of was another wee bit that kind of kept us together. Having that wee spell, I think it was October, September time.
And that was the one, Anton, was it for charity you dressed as Santa Claus, wasn't it, wee man? Would you do a wee bit? You and one of the boys in the team, he's done what, was it a walk, wasn't it?
Aye, man, me and Big Patsy, Gaffer's a brush, man, honestly. The guy he's a freak of nature, man. He doesn't warm up right. He does a warm up with a roll up right. He's about, I think Pat must be about 60 or something by now, right? But he does warm ups with a roll, mate. I say to him, man, don't do a warm up with us, because if you do a warm up, you end up injured. Gaffer's a brushy guy, but the most versatile player you ever see. PG plays in goals, defence, midfield, and up front, mate. You could put him anywhere, mate. He'll do your shift. But obviously, I was out injured. The Gaffer, I'll tell you something. See, the lockdown has made the Gaffer fit on all the players, man. You're doing nothing. He's
well, that's true.
He's trying to get a strip on, but he's terrible, man. There's no chance.
Jamie, you're talking about...
Here, PG, sorry, just a quick one on the Gaffer, right? I played one game, right? I played quite a few games, but one game Jamie had to get a strip. We only 12 players one day, I think, because of something. And Jamie came on as a sub, man. And the next minute, he ran on, right? Boggett played there his heat. He ran a doggy to get the ball. He went there his heat. He ran another doggy to get the ball. Went there his heat, ran another doggy, and turned and goes, I'm off. I need to take him off. I had to take him off after about 5 minutes, man. He was blowing.
Oh, it doesn't get any easier as you get older, man. Just on see, you're talking about the kind of charity work that you're doing. That can you go into a wee bit more detail on some of the charity stuff you've done?
Aye, PG. So, obviously, I didn't answer the question. Ryan said, man, well, obviously, the Gaffer came up behind for that cash for kids was to. So, obviously, there's no much we could do as a big group, as you know, with all the restrictions and all that carry on. So the Gaffer says, right, everybody go. He gave us about a week's notice, and he's like, everybody go and do half a marathon each and post it on, and then we'll do this for the race. So this is about a week. So he's trying to give out half marathons, but at the time I was injured, man, and my calf mat was sore. So I went, man, me and Big Patsy, as I spoke about, I get carried away, because I'm talking about daft he was. Me and him, so we were starting off, saying, we'll do a half marathon, we'll walk with Santa. And I was like, I've got an elf costume. Patsy's about 6 foot something, so he stuck the elf costume on. And I've got the 5 foot. Aye, I know. I always reverse for it. It ended up, so I said to him, we'll walk a half marathon, and usual me, I was like, do you want to just walk for the stables to the Kelpies? And he's like, he went, how can you go from walking from your house to George Square to want to walk for the stables to the Kelpies? And I was like, we need to push ourselves for charity and a cause. Me and him walked along the canal, dressed as Santa and Elf, the Gaffer, half marathons, a good few. I think he get one of the best times at the team. So that tells you.
Anton, just to get that clear, I get the fastest time at the full team, mate. You're right.
I got a faster time,
Jamie.
Done it in your bike, but didn't you, Jamie?
I think it was 1:56 PG.
Well done, mate.
He was driving along, checking his phone, trying to get the steps up, man, driving on half marathon.
Well, that's the thing. I'm wondering, you talking about you've got like the Santa outfit and the elf outfit. Now, what is going on with the Dakhil boys that you have all these outfits?
You're going to be a bit of role play or something?
I know there's housemate, we love daftness, mate, we love dress up, mate, we love just to be a bit out there, know what I mean? So he can't just do a normal walk, mate, he's going to do the Dakhil style, 26 mile dressed as Santa, know what I mean? Love it.
I could picture your mom sending the two of you to school dressed up as Batman and Robin.
Yeah, you don't lie, know your mama used to dress us up like that. That's for our episodes, mate. You can't be doing a shot with that stuff, man.
As we're going to have what we could do is we do a PG and Dak kind of the Dakhil family special catwalk and just your outfits in it.
Mate, that's not what the people want to see, mate. The one rid of me after hearing my younger brother speaking, know what I mean? He speaks better than me. Anyway.
See, no, Dak, on you go. I seen you had something there.
No, on you go, mate. Battling.
Jamie, what's the hope for next season? Because it looks like we're going to be pretty much, in terms of football, back to normal, at least by September time. I assume the season will be going forward. What's your aims for next season? Because you said you've been able to keep most of the boys anyway.
Aye, definitely, PG. I've got our league starting back on the 4th of August. Hopefully, if everything keeps going the way it's going. But for the 17th of May, we're going to be playing summer tournaments throughout Glasgow and Lanarkshire and that, which will be good, so the boys can get up to speed before the start of the season. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
My hopes for next season is winning a lot. To be honest, I want a right good run the Scottish. I think I've got a squad there now that's more than capable of winning everything. I think with Merlin capable of winning the league, the cups, and I think with Merlin capable of going a right good run the Scottish and all. Anton can add to that, man, but
see what I will say, right? And I know that obviously you two and the people that's been on this, right, PG and Ryan, there's people that on this have played at a high level, man, and you have played at a good level at juniors, but sometimes I think, right, with Sunday football, there's a wee bit of judgment there, do you know what I mean? There's a wee bit of looking down, man, Saturday morning, maybe Sunday football, and I think that's a big thing that's out there, man, is people, I think Sunday football, man, it's not a level, it's no this, it's no that, it's no serious, and people maybe look down their nose a wee bit at Sunday football, but I'll tell you what, see for your team, PG, Ryan knows himself. Obviously, Ryan's at the Ashfield, he's got an interest in the club. He's asking me about players, he's trying to get people down there. Jamie's boy Paul's away to the Shire, other boys have went to junior. So people that could go, come to a Sunday afternoon team, Maryhill, our team, and it's been a wee mark for them to start playing junior football, going and playing a Sunday, and that's just a wee bit of what your team's been, do you know what I mean? Boys have came for a Sunday, it started the way it is, and that's been a platform to get people into junior football at a higher level. And the boys you play against, man, are boys that have played junior, have played with clubs. It's a hard standard, it's a competitive league we're in. So it's not just a case it's Sunday football and it's a free-for-all, man. It's a good standard, you know what I mean, for what people are in.
I was going to touch on that, Anton, sorry, Dak. See what you're saying about the standard. You look at the teams that have won the Scottish on the Sundays, I mean, they're full of guys who play tap amateur, have played, some of them have played tap level junior or higher. It's a right good quality. And you touch on it with the Saturday morning as well. When I finished managing Saturday afternoon, which was one of the best levels of amateur football in the afternoon. I managed that and I was really fortunate with that. I went to Yoker on a Saturday morning, and I remember I used to say to boys, oh no, don't go Saturday morning, stay with us. Saturday morning football is pish. See, when I went, I was very surprised at the quality. And sometimes it suits guys to play on the Saturday morning or the Sunday afternoon instead of the Saturday afternoon. So the quality is, I can speak for it, it's definitely higher than most people think it is.
It's all about lifestyle. See, there's Sunday league clubs that would beat junior clubs. There's Saturday morning clubs that would beat junior clubs, and there's ones that are poor, right? Obviously that happens, but it's because if you get a good environment, I keep going on about it, and you're playing with your pals or you're playing for a club that's challenging and doing well, then boys don't want to leave it. You know what I mean? I struggle to get boys off of some Sunday teams or Saturday morning teams because they're happy with the other, achieving success. They're in a dressing room with their pals, good environment that they enjoy. So 100%, I've seen some of the standard. Even for talk's sake on our level, a lot of the Darvel boys have won Sunday Scottish Cups with the drumming over there. Do you know what I mean? And look at them now, flying at the top of the way. So 100% agree. There's players out there littered across every league, man. There's definitely good teams and cracking players out there. So the Milan's no different.
even with Milan, like obviously that's some of the weird pals with Big Kev Carberry. I mean, I think Big Kev is definitely good enough to play junior at a sort of level, because I think even
Big Kev, right? See, Big Kev. No, I'll lie. I know this is a big thing, mate. He's got into the gym, he's got himself solid. But see, if he lost a bit for his own, he would be playing even higher level than that, because he knows how to play football, mate.
I tried to sign Kev when I was taking my team on a Saturday afternoon, and the big man is, when I worked with him, we called him the fridge, because he's just fucking massive. But it's like Daks, he's a very good football player, you know what I mean? There's quality there.
Milan, mate, they've got loads of them. I wouldn't want to leave boys out, because I know them as well, like Cha and Jerry and all, and it would be unfair of me to go start rhyming them off, because success that Milan are getting is it's a team. You don't win things with one or two good players, you win it with a team of good players, you know what I mean? So it's down to the full club. So I'm a big fan, you know that. You know, I'm a Milan boy, mate, myself.
Aye, but you try to step down, we got to ask you, but didn't you, mate?
You can't badmouth Nashville on this podcast. You can't badmouth Nashville on this podcast. You get so touchy.
No. So PG, where were you wanting to take it?
Well, just to finish up, lads, if you don't mind, you don't need to go into a great amount of detail, just to just give a wee bit of background on yourselves, so that if there's anybody listening to this who has got any kind of addictions or issues, like we've had Paul Pettigrew on before, who spoke very openly about his gambling issues, if you are able just to give a wee bit about yourselves, and then where it's taken you to being at the club now, and how much a difference it's made to your life, and not just yours, your families as well.
PG.
I'll go first, right? Aye, so for yourselves, I'm originally from Maryhill, and I came from a completely normal upbringing and all that, with my mum and what have you, but I was more, as we touched on earlier on, like young man, like most people do, 16, 17 years of age, are hanging about closes, drinking, and it just kind of kicked off there for me, do you know what I mean? And then it took me to places, like prison and all that, and then out of there through my alcoholism, and then just the pain that I suffered, when I lifted, as we said earlier on, I lifted a drink on a Friday, I didn't put it down to a Monday. And then the stuff with the family, how the family suffer on the back of that, with me staying out all weekend, getting wages, spending the wages, all that stuff, do you know what I mean? And then fighting, I was one of the drunks that when I would have a swallow, I liked to square go after it, do you know what I mean? And that happened nearly every single weekend, and then on the back of that, it was at Maryhill police station, and for there it was to Berlin, and for Berlin out and blah, 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 do you know what I mean? And it just, a cycle, it just happened, and I didn't know how the hell did I get out of this, man? I didn't want to live like that anymore, I was in so much pain myself for it. I didn't want it to continue, and then I went to a meeting with one of my mates. I ended up in the Royal for the 50th time or something, do you know what I mean? And I took a seizure and ended up in the Royal through alcohol. And one of my mates came up and asked me if I wanted to do something about it. And I went to a meeting and I met Anton. I didn't know him until I came into recovery, and now he's like my best mate. And I met guys like him, and I thought I'd have went in there and I'd just wouldn't have been my thing, full of old people doing this, doing that, and it wasn't, man, it's opposite. It was full of young guys like Anton buzzing with life without having substances in his body, do you know what I mean? And I just kind of kicked on with them for there, followed what they were doing, because I wanted a wee bit of how that happiness that they had, do you know what I mean? And then things started improving gradually, very, very quickly, to be honest, man. Like, I left school in second year with no qualifications or anything either, and the next minute I'm studying, I'm getting qualifications, I'm not drinking, my life's getting better, my house is better, everybody about me is all getting a bit of peace, my mum, my wife, my children, do you know what I mean? And for that, we started getting a game of football together, and then the team coming together, and then having that every Sunday, getting into the dressing room with all the boys and having that, just that, it's hard to describe the feeling in that dressing room, but the other two boys on here know exactly how it feels, do you know what I mean? But there's this feeling you get when you go into that dressing room with all them, that these are all together, do you know what I mean? And these are all buzzing, man, yeah, but just buzzing, man. And for there, as I say, the getting bodies in, the success of the team, having the night suit, the big Milan night suit, we've had a few of them, you know, all that, with all the families, and the cup finals with all the families, all that stuff, all rolled into one, has just gave me a life I could have only ever kind of dreamt of having, you know, where how my career's kicked off and all that, alongside the football and my mates, and really good boys when about us, do you know what I mean?
That's excellent, mate. I appreciate you.
Brilliant stuff, Jamie. Honestly, see for sharing that ways, Jamie, I know, mate, because for me, before Anton goes on to it, the Paul Pettigrew was important to me because I see gambling as a big problem and massive problem with alcoholism and stuff like that, and drug misuse and stuff like that. So it's amazing to hear and have for people to look at you and Anton and that as an example and show that life can go on and things can get better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Right.
For me, anyway, obviously, Ryan knows, and I don't want to have on Ryan. PG, I know he's up trying to hang with time. I don't know how we're for time.
No, listen, mate. See when it comes to this, mate, there's no time on this, mate. You take as long as you need to tell us your bit, mate. Because if it's helping somebody out there, mate, we want to hear it.
I think for me, Ryan, is I know I spoke to you before it, and it's like, and it's doing this and it's putting yourself out there, because usually we quietly go about our business, and what we do, it's attraction rather than promotion, you say, you know what I mean? So it's how we conduct ourselves in that. But as I say, I watched the 2-year episode with Paul in it, and it was unbelievable. It was powerful, and I thought, we've got a message and a story, and if this can help one person, then why not share it with people? And do you know what? I'm proud of what I do in my life now. My family are proud, my brother's sitting there, they're proud of how I've changed my life, and we're just taking suggestions on and doing this. But see, for people watching, right, I had the stereotypical view what an alcoholic was, right? A wee guy, stayed in the street, all clays on, maybe piss or heroin, drinking the cheapest drink, drank every single day, homeless, whatever it is. That was what I thought an alcoholic was. And then I went to a meeting and I found out really what it is. Do you know what I mean? I really found out what it was. And it wasn't that, man, that is a part of one, do you know what I mean? But then there's all different forms. I didn't ever think I had a problem because I didn't drink every day. That's not my experience. I didn't drink every day. Just once I started, I couldn't stop, man. Once I put that first drink in me, man, I was away. And do you know what? I cared about everybody, but see, once I had that first drink, nobody else and nothing else mattered, because I had no control of how much I took. When I took drink took me to some dark, crazy places. And as I said, I didn't think I had a problem, because everything I'd done my whole life, I justified it. Everything I justified, I blamed other people. I looked at it and I went, I'm not as bad as that person. I don't do this, I don't do that. If I get that bad, I'll do something about it. It was always looking at somebody else. It was never looking at my own stuff and looking at what I'd done. And as I say, Ryan's been at the heart of it. Ryan's been through all this, and you said it, PG, and you said a great point there. You says what it's done for you and also your family, right? Because I didn't think my outlook in life was, I'm not hurting anybody else. This is my life. I'm doing this to me. The carnage, the chaos, the trouble to the family home, causing it. Jamie spoke about it. The house, losing jobs and hospitals and getting into bother and taking away peace. What I do, I look at me as everybody that I'm closest with suffered more than me. Because my mindset was, I don't care. I'm doing this. And then I realised Ryan starts opening up, and he starts being able to tell me how he feels. My mum, my missus, they start opening up to me because I'm on eggshells worrying about me. I used to say, I'm going out for a couple. If I was talking about a couple of beers, man, a couple of days I was disappearing for. You know what I mean? The same freeze on and that. But I just justified it when I was out in the carnage, and Jamie spoke about the carnage and the chaos and the violence and all that stuff. And I used to justify it with saying, I work, man, I'm due it. Everybody else is doing it. It's a weekend. Do you know what I mean? And just for having people, it's one of the ones, see once you start, can you stop if you get control, if you got control of it? So I used to think I was always in control. Once I want to stop this, I'll stop. But see when you do try and stop it, man, it becomes very difficult because the longer you're at it, you think, I can have one or two. Do you know what I mean? And I thought when I started, I didn't know what I was starting. I didn't know what journey I was starting on. I didn't realise what was going to happen. And I just went to a meeting, gave it a bash to see, because you know what, I wanted to feel better. That's as simple as it was. I just wanted to feel better. And I went, I'll try anything to take this feeling away. Just low, fed up, angry all the time, moods up and down, nobody knew what one I was going to get. I thought, I'll get a bash. Went to a meeting, and me and my whole family's life has completely changed, man. Completely changed 360. And it's down to people. It's down to just doing simple suggestions. And I thought my life was over. How can you imagine a life without drink? You know what I mean? That's what I was like. You drink when you're happy, you drink when you're sad, you drink for occasions. That's just what you do. It's normal life. And then you realise there's life without drink. My life just started when I got sober. My life just started. All I wanted was a bit of peace. I've got peace, got contentment, and I've got good people in our booties, man, that just push me on. And the football team's a massive thing for it. You know what I mean? Having the, and everything that we've achieved with that football team, it's even more special because what we're out there for, how we started, and well, no, it's not about this or that, it's about what it is, and that's what I think about every time I go in that football park. It's not just a game of football, it's recovery. People are struggling, people are going through hard things. That's what I'm fighting for 90 minutes out there. That's what I'm thinking when I'm trying to win trophies. That's what I'm thinking when I go in that park. I leave everything in the park because that's what it means. But if anybody is watching and listening to this, man, it's just, your life can change, man. Your life can change if you just get humble, get honest, share what's going on with you with the right people, man, because everybody's struggling, everybody's got stuff going on. I didn't think I had problems until I found out what it was all about. And all it is, you get a set of tools to have an amazing life, do you know what I mean?
I think that's about as good a place as any to finish, Anton. That was just the same as yourself, Jamie. Really means a lot for you to share that, and there's so much out there for people. And again, we'll hark back to Paul. Paul was a young guy, late teens, early 20s, who's realised he's had to make a change, and the difference in his life. I mean, you look at your kids, and Jamie, you've got older kids, so you have grandkids and that coming. You know what I mean? It's they'll never know a different version of you. They'll see the best version of you after this, and I really, really appreciate and respect you coming on and talking about it, lads. It's absolutely brilliant.
See, just on PG, just finishing it off, my final thoughts, like, I love the two of you, right, and I just love you as people, you know what I mean? Obviously, Anton's my brother, but the story and the work he's are doing with the football team, and out with the football team as well, because he's doing your football, but I know that he's care and he's doing a lot of work with your boys and people out with football as well. So I just want to let you know how proud I am of you, and the message he's sent out there is important, and I hope people sit and listen to it, you know what I mean? I couldn't, especially I know my brother, you know what I mean? It's brilliant to have my brother on my podcast and sharing light in it, and hopefully it gets people watching it and taking something from it. But tremendous, boys, honestly, thanks so much for your time, and see sharing that as well, because you didn't have to come on here and be open and honest and say the things and give information, but basically say what you were saying. So thanks very much, and thanks, and we wish the club all the best and all for next season.
And lads, remember, if you need somebody on a Sunday, money's shite, right? But I could play once every month for you. And my missus doesn't listen to the podcast, so she'll know no. So it's lads, thank you very much for that. We wish you all the best.
Lads, brilliant, man. Thank you.
You're doing amazing stuff, man. I appreciate you having us on and keep doing brilliant. Sky's the limit for you too, man. Come on.